What's up, guys? This is Tale of Two Dead Girls.
Yeah. Yep. No, that works. That works. So yeah, we're Tale of Two Dead Girls. Hi, I'm Kayla.
I'm Kale. Sorry, I'm still
okay. I'm like, are you gonna say
I didn't
your
know
name?
if we were actually doing it or what.
Nope, we're doing this. I'm in my new apartment, so I'm recording with my new setup, and I'm so excited because I actually have like a real setup now, and I didn't before. So yeah. Also,
I'm still using 2 TV trays.
okay, well, my mic is on a box on my desk, but I have a desk that I can use this on now. But anyways, if you guys hear any like weird chewing in the background, my dog is chewing on a bully stick, and yeah, he barks a lot here, so I'm hoping this will help him to not bark. But yeah, welcome to episode 20. We are doing another Killer Kids episode. What day is it? It is May. I don't even
14th.
know. I don't even know. Like these. Are you sure it's the 14th? I think it's the 13th.
No, it's the 14th.
Oh, it is the 14th.
Yep.
Okay. But you guys are listening to this like on the 20th or something. I don't know. But yeah, quarantine is still going on here in California. I know that they just extended the stay home order till after July in LA. So it's not getting better.
Damn.
It's not. And it sucks because I'm finally home back in Orange County, and I'm so incredibly happy to be here. Like I haven't been this happy in so long, like years, and it's just crazy to think like being quarantined where I was. It wasn't that hard because I never really went anywhere anyways. I didn't really have friends over there. I never went out. It was really dangerous, so I just never left my house. But then being quarantined here fucking sucks because all of my friends fucking live here, and now I can't see them, even though like I'm so close to them now. Like before I was like 2.5 hours away, and now I'm like 10 minutes away from like all my friends. Well, not all my friends, but a lot of my friends, and it sucks being so far. Well, no, not far, because I'm not far. It sucks being fucking quarantined. Can this coronavirus just get the fuck out already? Because I'm ready for my life to go back to normal or somewhat normal.
I know. Hey, coronavirus, this is for you. Stop. Just stop, okay? We've had enough. It's not funny.
It's not funny, okay?
That's so weird though, because like we live in totally different places, and Utah is like, fuck everything, let's open back up. Who cares? We don't have jobs or money. God. Like literally everything is open. Salons are open. Everything's open. Like the stores.
But do you have to wear a mask?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of stores are like masks required, and some stores don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't know. I've only wore a mask a couple of times in stores.
Oh my god, I literally will not go anywhere without a mask. I've been doing DoorDash a lot lately, and all the stores, like on the doors, it'll say, you have to have a mask in order to enter. Like it's like no mask, no entrance.
Yeah.
So
shoe, shirt,
it's like,
mask.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't have a shirt on, you can't come in.
It's the new thing that's going to be added to those signs. No shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service.
Yeah. Like it's crazy.
It is
so
a crazy time right now. And I think it's like our generation like hasn't really lived through something like this. I mean, I guess like
not at all.
Because like my boyfriend's parents, they talk about like swine flu and like all those things, but I was
Ebola.
Yeah, we were like kids, so we didn't really care.
And it also wasn't this bad. Like I don't want to say it wasn't this bad because I know Ebola and the swine flu. I actually don't remember much about the swine flu, but I remember Ebola being like a big thing, but I don't really remember if it was like big enough because, like you said, we were kids.
Yeah, and we didn't like quarantine and stuff when
exactly.
My conspiracy side of things takes over, and I just like immediately think that there's something else. There's something else that's going on. Of course. There's something else that they're doing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. The reptilians are taking control.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever read that CIA thing that I sent you?
Oh, fuck. No, I didn't. I've
Oh,
been, oh,
dude.
God. I need to. I'll do that. I'll do that when we get off
Okay.
this. When we're done with this.
It's fucking creepy though. Like I feel like you're gonna fucking be creeped out, kinda. I don't know. Maybe not, because you're a pretty spiritual person, so maybe not.
We'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah. It basically is just like a whole CIA document that talks about like how people really can probably like astral project or have lucid dreams or like I don't know, do weird shit
Oh,
like
is
that.
that what? Oh, well, it's true.
Yeah.
You can. Like, astral projection is real and lucid dreaming is real. I personally haven't tried lucid dreaming yet, but I have like friends that do it, and I have friends that astral project, which I think is fucking
Yeah, I
insane.
would
I would
never.
love to figure out like how to do that, because I mean, all I think about is Insidious,
Yeah, that's why I would
you know,
never
and then I'm like,
I would never do it.
oh, okay. Well, then that's scary. I don't think you'd actually get stuck in the further or whatever,
Just I don't want
but
to see anything scary. That's my thing. Like I'm not trying to see
I
anything fucking
I
scary.
don't think it's scary. I think you just see yourself,
But if you see other
right?
shit though,
I don't think so. I don't
well,
know,
I don't know. They
actually.
saw like demons and shit. I mean, I guess it was.
Oh, ew, never mind. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
remember? Okay, because like, okay, so with Insidious, did you watch all of them?
Yeah, well, see, Insidious was like
Well,
fake
because
though.
at first it set it up to be like, oh, these are ghosts, but then it was actually just him in the future. So I guess it wasn't
Wait,
that
it was him in
scary.
the future?
But
Fuck, I don't remember. Oh my god, wait,
yeah,
I need
like
to watch all of them again. Well, they all kind of sucked, but well, no. No. I did not mean that. The first and the second one were the best. The third and the fourth were eh. Or was there 5? No, there was 4, right?
I think there was 5. Well, one of the whatever the last one is called, The Last Key, and that one was kind of fucking
That
lame.
one was stupid, and I don't think that like to me, if I can remember correctly, it had nothing to do with like the other
Yeah,
ones. And then
it was like the old lady who helped him.
yeah.
It was like her backstory.
Oh, yeah. Nobody cared about
And then
that.
like her past came to like haunt her and she had to go back to her childhood home and defeat the fucking demon. I
Which
don't know. It didn't really.
which one was the one with like the teenage girl and like the
Oh,
wall?
dude,
I
that
think there
one
was a
was the
third one.
scariest.
I think there's only
And she's like
4.
in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah, she like broke her legs or something and she was in a wheelchair. I remember because she's trying to get away from a demon and she's like in a fucking wheelchair and I was
Oh my
like, dude,
god.
that would be so
I have no
scary.
idea. I don't remember. But the first and second one are the best, and that's all that matters, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, it's a cool read. I mean, I enjoyed the part where it was talking about like our consciousness or
mhm.
conscience or whatever
Yeah.
and like what happens to it after we die and like the theories that it had were just
Oh
like
fuck.
that's fucking weird.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look at that. I know that would like make you feel all like crazy because you're scared of death.
Yeah.
So like
I'm not it was just weird because it kind of gave me some comfort but it like also made me feel weird. I don't know.
yeah.
You have to read it and tell me what you think.
Okay,
But
definitely I will. I don't know. I forgot about it. But oh, I wanted to share with you guys a new podcast. I don't know if I don't think we shared this in our last one because they came out like after. Oh wait,
yeah, I don't
did we
think
share it? I
so.
don't remember. God, I have like the worst memory when it comes to
I don't
fucking
think we
podcasts.
did.
Anyways, there's
Maybe we did. I don't remember.
yeah, there's a new podcast called The New Witches, and they are, oh my gosh, I don't remember the other girl's name. It's like Melanie and, well, we know Melanie. Melanie and I think it's also an M. Maria? No, it's not Maria. Do you know her name? Amanda? No. Fuck. I
I
am
don't
so
remember.
sorry. She's probably not
I
even
can find it and we can redo
she was
it.
probably not even listening to this, but anyways, yeah, they are new witches, you know, and they talk about paranormal and true crime as well. Also, they talk about like witchy stuff, and if you guys are into that, go check them out. She's the creator of our artwork for our podcast, so yeah, she has her own podcast now. And it's great. I love it. I've already listened to a few of the episodes, and it's good stuff, you guys.
Yeah. Speaking of giving shout outs, I just wanted to tell you guys about my boyfriend's new band. They're called Days Gone By. it's like it's all one word, so just Days Gone By. But they decided to start up like it's kind of like a indie rock, like pop punkish kind of band,
Oh,
and it's
interesting.
really, yeah, it's really fucking good. Like it's amazing to me. Like my boyfriend is so talented, and I'm just gonna brag for a minute because
Oh,
he seriously gets on GarageBand and creates an entire song with like his guitar. He like has a guitar and bass, and he just like creates entire songs in like a fucking hour. And then his friend like records vocals with like headphone microphones, and they put out this whole album, and it's just amazing. Like it sounds so good. It sounds like good quality, and I'm just amazed that they just like made it on their phones. It's fucking insane.
oh, that's so cool. We'll play a clip for you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and insert a little clip here. Anyways, I hope you guys like it. You can find them on I believe they're on all music sites. I don't know if they're on YouTube yet, but I know that they are on Spotify, Apple Music, Astro Music. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Astral music.
Um, they use DistroKid, and so
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's kind of the same thing as like our stuff. It just kind of goes to
Yeah.
every website.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they have like a Twitter and Instagram and Facebook page. So yeah, give them a listen, please. They're just
Very
starting out.
cool. Yes, definitely do that. Okay. Well, we should get okay, well, let's go ahead and get into our stories.
Yes, get it.
Okay. So, I titled mine Teenage Mass Murdering Road Trip. Very long
Oh,
name.
dude, yours is titled way better than mine. Do you know what I titled mine?
What?
I titled it Killa Kids, Killa.
Oh my god.
Kids
Hey, it works.
in all caps.
It
So
works. Okay, so this one is with he was like barely a teen, or he was like becoming an adult, whatever, like 19 to 20, you know? But anyways, the American teenage couple, Charles Raymond Starkweather and Carol Ann Fugate. I think it's Fugate. I'm gonna say Fugate. It might be Fugate. Fugate. I'm gonna say Fugate. Okay.
yeah, it's
Went
probably Fugate, but...
went on a 2-month killing spree starting in December of 1957. They murdered 11 people in Nebraska and Wyoming during their road trip and were arrested on January 29th, 1958. So Charles Starkweather was born on November 24th, 1938 in Lincoln, Nebraska, which made him, if it was 57, that makes him, 19. And he went to school at Saratoga Elementary, Irving Middle School, and Lincoln High. I wanted to include that just in case any of you guys went to any of those schools in Lincoln, Nebraska, because I like to know if there was a serial killer that went to my school at some point, you know, because whatever. Fun fact though, Gwen Stefani went to my school, my
Oh my
elementary
god.
school, and my high school. Yeah.
That's cool.
But of course, like before me because I'm younger than her. So anyways, he was born with a mild defect. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna skip the name of it. But it caused his legs to be misshapen, and he suffered from severe myopia. That drastically affected his vision for most of his life. Also, you guys might hear barking, and I cannot stop her barking, so sorry. We got like 3 dogs here now, so. Oh, I had 3 dogs before. But I have like dogs that like bark all the time now, so whatever.
You have 3 noisier dogs.
3 noisier dogs, yes.
It's okay. We all love dogs. It's fine.
Yeah, so just, deal with it. Okay. So also he had those defect with his legs, and then his vision. He also had a speech impediment that led to constant teasing when he was in school. And another side note, I actually had a speech impediment in elementary school, or yeah, in elementary school. And I had to go to speech therapy in school because I had a really bad lisp. And I had that because my tongue is actually pretty large. I can touch my nose with my tongue, like not just the tip of it. Like I can kind of go up and like, at the ball of your nose, I can touch that part. I feel like it was getting bigger as I was growing up because at first when I was younger, it would just touch the tip, and now I can kind of like, touch the ball of my nose.
I feel like I can do that too, but I feel like it's because I have a huge nose.
Oh my, no, you don't. Do you?
I have a pretty big nose. I mean, it
Uh,
fits my face. It's not like it's large to where it's like weird looking. I feel like it
right.
fits my face, but I have a pretty big schnoz.
Okay, I haven't noticed. But yeah, my tongue actually would like go out of my mouth and go sideways. So it wasn't just like a normal lisp. It would actually come out and go sideways. So I had to like force myself to put my tongue behind my teeth and stay in the middle of my mouth instead of going to the side. And now I'm fine. I can talk normally, and I forced myself to do it.
Did
Um
braces help with that too?
I fixed my speech impediment before I got braces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I know
so
sometimes that braces can help with that, but anyway.
braces helped me with something else that I'm not going to tell you guys because it is embarrassing and this is something that nobody knows, only a few people know about. But anyways, moving on. So he started to become a bully after being bullied for a long time, and he went from being a very well-behaved student to a troubled one. Carol Fugit was 13 when Charlie and her met, and he was 18 at the time. So he was 18 and she was 13. So that's kind of gross. um, this was in 1956, and she was a pretty girl with dark brown hair and a beautiful smile. She was rebellious and had a temper. He treated Carol better than she's ever been treated by anyone, but she was also like 13, so I don't know if she had any other relationships before him. But he would give her literally almost anything she wanted. Someone stated that, quote, she was impressed by his cars, his toughness, his looks, and despite his poverty, the way he could give her almost anything she wanted. Charlie said that Carol meant more to him than anything had before. Without her, he would thrust back into the world he hated so much. Carol almost even made him stop hating himself. He saw himself as reflected in her eyes and he looked good. That's what someone said.
Wow.
Yeah, and he
I mean, like any older boy to a 13-year-old girl is going to be like, "Oh my god, my Prince Charming." I feel
yeah.
like.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember being 13 and having a crush on my uncle's friends who were like 17 or something.
Oh yeah, totally. Older boys were the shit. When we were teenagers. But but yeah, so Charlie taught Carol how to drive, and then later on she crashed his 1949 Ford into another car.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, his dad ended up paying for the damages since he was the legal owner of the car, and so that created a huge mess between him and his father. So he ended up kicking Charlie out of the house. He then moved into his friend Bob's place where he was living with his wife Barbara Fugit, which is Carol's older sister, and that's how they met. They met because Bob is Charles's friend and Bob was dating Barbara, which is Carol's sister, and they would go on like double dates and shit together. So yeah.
So were her parents cool with her dating that guy then?
No.
Even though he was older? Oh, okay.
No. So he began telling people that he and Carol were going to get married and that she was pregnant with his child, which backfired. And that was a lie too. So it backfired when her parents found out. And once her parents found out, that's when they were like, "No, you can't date this boy." So Charlie was living a life of poverty with shit-paying jobs. He couldn't really support himself or his girlfriend. He began to feel trapped, and so he started to think of robbery. On his usual garbage route, he was a garbage man. Like, sometimes he had like other jobs, but they were all like really shitty jobs. And he
Just
began
like odd jobs here and there.
Yeah, and he began plotting bank robberies and finally conceived his own personal philosophy, which was dead people are all on the same level. And he lived by that until for the remainder of his life.
What does that even mean?
I don't fucking know. Dead people are all on the same level. I don't know. I don't get it.
He really thought he was doing something with that. He's like, I'm gonna create the new catchphrase.
Yeah, nobody fucking knows or cares. But on November 30th, 1957, Charles Starkweather plotted his first murder. He went to a gas station in Lincoln, Nebraska to purchase a toy dog for Carol, and he didn't have the cash, so he wanted to pay for it with credit. But the attendant refused, and Charles got pissed because he couldn't buy his girlfriend a fucking toy dog. Idiot.
Oh my god.
At a gas station.
If your man doesn't treat you like that, then you don't want him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. No, don't listen to Kale. Don't listen to her. So a few hours later at 3 a.m. on December 1st, he went back to the gas station with a 12-gauge shotgun. He left the gun in his car at first and then went inside and purchased cigarettes from Robert Colvert. He was the gas station attendant cashier dude. He left, drove down the road, turned around, and went back to the gas station, and then again leaving his gun in the car. He went in, he bought gum, and then he left. He parked close by, walked back into the gas station wearing a red bandana underneath his hat, and had a gun and a canvas bag. He held Robert Culver at gunpoint and stole $100 from the cash register and then forced Robert to walk back to Charles's car. And then Charles then drove Robert to a remote area outside of Lincoln and forced him out of the car, where Robert tried to get a hold of the gun. And it fired in the scuffle and ended up shooting Robert in his kneecaps. So when the gun accidentally fired, he ended up hurting himself, and then Charles shot him in the head and killed him. And then Charles claimed that in the aftermath of the murder, he believed he had transcended his former self to reach a new place of existence in which he was above the law.
Well,
I don't know. But he immediately told Carol about the robbery, but said that someone else killed Robert, and she didn't believe him. Which, good girl. Don't believe your boyfriend when he says that he went and robbed somewhere and then the person ended up dead, but he didn't kill him. No, he killed him. So on January 21st, 1958, Charles went to Carol's home but didn't find her there. He argued with her mom and stepdad Velda and Marion Bartlett, who told him to stay away from Carol. Apparently, Velda hit him a couple of times, and Marion, fuck, I don't know his name. But the stepdad, literally kicked him out of the door. And then Charlie then shot both of her parents. Velda, he shot in the face, and Marion in the head, and he strangled and fatally stabbed their 2-year-old daughter, Betty Jean.
Damn, Kayla, you really sprung that shit on us.
I'm sorry.
No, like, entry, just, then he shot her fucking parents in the face. I'm like,
fuck,
wait, what? I thought it was, like, leading up to it.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, oh, they get in a fight, so now he hates them and convinces her that he needs to kill them. But no, it's like, he just does it wham bam right there.
Yeah, no, see, there is a lot to this story, and there's a lot of, like, different versions.
Okay, gotcha.
But he did shoot her in the face, he did shoot him in the head, and he did kill the sister. So that's
so sad.
But there's just like different variations of how it happened. Some, like, so the one that I'm reading, or that I'm like, that I wrote and am sharing with you guys, is that Carol wasn't there, but in another article it said that she actually was there and he killed them while she was there. I don't know. It's confusing. So but anyways, Charlie stated, quote, "I picked up that knife that the old lady had, started to walk in the bedroom, and the little girl kept yelling, and I told her to shut up, and I started to walk again and just turned around and threw the kitchen knife I had at her. They said it hit her in the throat, but I thought it hit her in the chest. I went on into the bedroom. Mr. Bartlett was moving around, so I tried to stab him in the throat, but the knife wouldn't go in, and I just hit the top part of it with my hand and it went in.
Ugh.
When Carol got home, he told her what he did, and together they hid the bodies in various locations in and behind the home. Velda's body was dragged to the old outhouse and shoved down the toilet opening. Her baby sister was put in a box that had been used for trash and taken out to the outhouse as well, and then Marion was dumped on the floor of the chicken coop. And then together they stayed in the house for 6 days and put a note on the door saying, "Stay away, everybody is sick with the flu, Velda Bartlett." So she pretended to be her mom and write a note saying that everyone was sick. But this note wasn't even like, the words were not even spelled correctly. It was stupid. They spelled the flu with FLUE.
What the heck?
And then stay away was stay a space way. So
stay away.
Stay away. But Carol's grandma became sus and contacted the police. But other people were coming by the house because like no one was like hearing of them. And my dog is drinking water. Oh my god. Oh, he's drinking it.
He's thirsty after that bully stick.
Yeah, I'm surprised he started. Oh my god, is it gone? Oh my god, did he fucking eat the whole thing? Oh my god, I think he ate the whole thing. Okay, but yeah, a lot of people are coming over and trying to see like, hey, what's going on? Are they okay? No, they're sick. Go away. You know, whatever.
Yeah, because like the whole family is sick, but like they're not going to work or school.
No,
like,
no one's calling anyone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, calling? Wait, in the 50s, did they have phones? Fuck, I don't even know.
I think so. I think they had like the landlines. I don't know.
But anyways, so yeah, her grandma called the police, and then oh yeah, okay. So when they arrived on the 27th of January, the couple had already left. They ended up going to Bennett, Nebraska, to a farmhouse of a 70-year-old man by the name of August Meyer, who was a family friend of Charles. He shot him in the head and killed him. They drove their car into the mud and then abandoned it, and then I think they stole his... No, they didn't steal his car. I don't even think that guy had a car. But two local teenagers, Robert Jensen and Carol King, stopped to give them a ride. And then moments later, Charles put the gun to Robert's neck and forced them to drive back to the abandoned farmhouse that they were at, where he ended up shooting Robert in the head 6 times, and he shot Carol in the head 1 time. Her body was left half naked with her jeans and underwear down around her ankles. She had been stabbed repeatedly in the abdomen and the pubic area, but there was said to be no evidence of RAPE. They then stole Robert's car and left Bennett, Nebraska. Charles admitted to shooting Robert Jensen and said that Carol shot Carol King. And apparently she shot her because she was like jealous of how good Carol looked or something like that. I don't know. Carol shot Carol because she was jealous.
I was confused at first because I was like, wait, he shot his own girlfriend? Like, I thought that
there's 2 different Carols.
Yeah, I didn't register that for some reason. So, but yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and then they drove to Lincoln and then went into the home of C. Lawyer and Clara Ward. Both Clara and the maid Lillian Fenkel were stabbed to death. Robert threw the knife at Clara and accused Carol of fatally stabbing Lillian. When Lawyer got home that evening, Charles shot him. The couple filled Lawyer's car with jewelry from the house and took off. So they stole the car, stole the jewelry, and then left.
Damn, they just went on a real killing spree. This is nuts.
Yeah, they did. Like, they did. So the county was
like, it sounds like something that would happen in like the 90s, not the 50s. Like when you said the 50s, I was like, wait, this did happen in that was like, I don't know. I feel like you hear about weird shit like this happening more in like the 90s or like the 80s or something.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, this particular case, like inspired lots of like movies and stuff. Natural Born Killers, I think, is based off of this.
Oh, okay. I
And
was getting like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of feel.
have you seen Natural Born Killers?
No, I have not.
I haven't either, but we did in our other Killer Kids episode. Oh wait, no. I don't think it was a Killer Kids episode, but I did it. Remember that Jasmine and what was his name? Jeremy Allen Steinke.
Yeah.
That story. They the they went on they killed because of watching Natural Born Killers. And if
Oh,
Natural
yeah.
Born Killers was based off of this story, then that means I'm reading the story that they were inspired by.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know
That
if
is
Natural
crazy.
Born Killers like has multiple stories, or if I've never seen it. I don't really know exactly like if it's supposed to be like a documentary or if it's just supposed to be uh like
Like if they
a
took pieces of this story and pieces
yeah.
of another story or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't know. But anyways, the county was stunned and law enforcement were searching for the killers. Frequent sightings of the pair were often reported. So they were on the lookout for these kids, and they knew they needed to find a new car since the one they recently stole was being hunted. So they found a traveling salesman named Merle Collison, sleeping in his Buick on the highway outside Douglas, Wyoming. They woke him up and then shot him. And apparently, Charles accused Carol of performing a coup de grace after his shotgun jammed. And then he said that she was the most trigger happy person he has ever met. So they tried to take his car, but there was a push pedal emergency brake, which Charles was new to. So when he tried to take off, the car stalled, and a motorcyclist stopped to help them, but then Charles threatened him with a gun because he's a fucking ass and just wants to kill everybody. And a sheriff arrived at that moment, and Carol ran to him and said something like, "It's Starkweather, he's going to kill me." And then Charles then tried to evade the cops and sped off going over 100 miles per hour. A bullet was then shot through the windshield, causing glass to fly everywhere and cut Charles. And he then stopped abruptly and surrendered. The county sheriff, Errol Heflin, said he thought he was bleeding to death and that's why he stopped. That's the kind of yellow son of a bitch he is. And then the couple was captured in Douglas at that moment. And then Carol Fugit maintained that Charles was holding her hostage by threatening to kill her family, claiming she was unaware that they were already dead. The judge did not believe that because she had plenty of opportunities to escape. So, yeah, they didn't believe her when she said she was being held hostage. And
Yeah,
then,
that's sus. I mean, they spent like 7 days at her own house?
yeah, and also they were together for like 2 months, like
Yeah.
killing people. So, like, there's definitely lots of time. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't like going out without her and shit, like keeping her
Hmm.
locked up in a basement.
Yeah, she was
I
with
don't know.
him every step of the way. But Charles was only tried for the one murder of Robert Jensen, which
What?
was the couple that picked them up after he killed that 70-year-old man. So Robert, he was tried for that, and then he was to receive the death penalty. And then Carol was sentenced to life on November 21st of 1958. Her sentence was eventually shortened, though, and she only served 18 years. Charles was executed in the electric chair at the Nebraska State Penitentiary. Oh my god, why can't I ever say this word? Penitentiary.
Penitentiary?
Yeah, penitentiary. I swear I can say this word in my head, okay? I just can't say it out loud. But yeah, he was electrocuted in that chair at 12:01 a.m. on June 25th, 1959. And then Carol was released on parole in June of 1976. She settled in Lansing, Michigan, changed her name, and worked as a janitor at a hospital. She never married, and she won't speak of the murders ever again. And that's it.
Damn. That's crazy, dude.
It was a lot.
The fact that she got... How old was she when she got out? Or
I don't know.
What year was she released? Did it say?
She was 13 in 1957. So 76, 57, 76. She was 33?
Damn.
34? Something
That's
like
nuts.
that.
It's like maybe she changed, but I mean,
Well,
obviously, I guess
her
she
to
didn't
get out.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's fucked up. It's always weird when you see stuff like this and like one person got more punishment than the other.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it reminds me of like with the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, like so she like started talking to this guy on the internet and like convinced him to kill her mom, and he's in prison for life and she only got like 25 years or something less than that, I think, actually. And it was like you literally convinced this, like, and he's not like, all as far as I know, I think he kind of has like a little bit of a mental disability. Like he's not fully like there mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And she like convinced him to do it, but he gets life and she gets like, I don't know. It's like who the person that pulls the trigger is the one that gets the most, but
Yeah.
I feel like you have part in it if you're doing it willingly, like with them, just not pulling the
for
trigger.
sure.
It's
For
crazy.
sure. For sure, maybe. For sure, not. For sure, For sure, bomb, 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 bomb. Please tell me you know that song.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. It was one of my favorites when I was a teenager.
Yes. If you guys know that song, please just like send us a DM or something and just be like, I know that song or something. I don't know. Just tell us. I'd love to know, all my fellow scene kids out there.
Yeah. That's crazy though. That's a sad story. It's always sad when like a little baby gets killed for like no fucking reason. Like her little sister, like she had nothing to fucking do with it, you know?
Yeah.
And like it's sad that her parents got killed too, but like when it's like the little sibling, that makes me so sad. I just
Yeah.
can't
And
even imagine.
I don't even think she cared.
Probably not. Okay, well, I mine's pretty fucking sad too. I mean, you can't
Great.
really make it not sad when we're talking about killer kids. But okay, so mine takes place in 1993 in Bootle. I don't know how to say this. It's like Bootle, so I don't know if it's Bootle or Bootle, Maryside, which is in the UK. Two 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and John Venables, killed 2-year-old James Bulger.
Oh no, baby.
Yep. So James is also known as Jamie. So Jamie Bulger was visiting a shopping center with his mother, and his mother was at a meat counter and she was buying some meat, and the two boys enticed James and led him out of the mall, and they were holding his hand. And so like when people do this case, like one of the most infamous pictures is like from the CCTV where they're holding his hand and like walking him out of the store. So the police at first, they thought it was just a couple of teenagers that may have been playing a prank, or they thought maybe, because they saw the footage and they thought that the kids were around 14. So they were like, maybe it's just like two kids. Maybe they want a little brother and they just have him like in a shed somewhere, like feeding him sweets or something.
Oh my
And
god. In a
yeah,
shed somewhere
I
feeding him
know.
sweets.
Like his mom is like on an interview and she says that she's like, when I found out that it was two kids that were holding his hand and leading him out, like I felt peace, because you never think that two little kids are going to do anything.
Yeah.
So the search went on for 2 days, until it says on a couple articles it says it was one kid, on another article it says it was like a group of kids, but Basically, James's body was found near a railroad, and his body was cut in half.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so basically, he was cut in half because he was hit by a train.
Wait, I think I've heard of this.
Yeah,
I think I know this story.
it's kind of popular, but it was like one of the most popular murder cases in the UK's history because of just like the scenario.
Yeah.
So when they found his body, he was cut in half and that he had been hit by a train, but it was apparent to the medical examiners that he was killed prior to being hit by the train. He had obvious blunt force trauma wounds to his head, and there were bloody bricks and rocks and an iron bar found near his body.
Damn.
So police began questioning teens and children that were at the mall that day. And they contacted the schools, see if anybody was missing from school that day. And they found out that Robert and John had sloughed school that day. And so John and Robert were brought in for questioning by police. And the police officers basically said that, they didn't think that they did this. Like, they were basically just questioning them to rule them out. But after only like a few questions, Robert quickly admitted that they took James. So when Robert was being questioned, he basically blamed everything on John, of course. And again, they're 10 years old, so it's like, think of a 10-year-old telling a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to the transcripts on YouTube, and they're quite sad just because they cry, because they're just like little kids. But Robert quickly admitted to taking James, but he basically just started placing blame on John. He claims that when they took James, that he told John to take James back to the shopping center. And when John was questioned, he lied completely at first, stating that Robert was lying and that they never took James from the mall. John was hysterical and he was crying, claiming that they never saw him, they never took him. Basically, like anytime the police asked him a question, he just said, "We never, like we never, we never." Um, but ultimately, both of the boys were caught on footage, leading James away from the mall. Witnesses also told police that they saw both John and Robert walking him across roads or holding his hand as James was killed, 3 miles from the shopping center. So 3 miles is a long ways to go, and a lot of people saw them.
Yeah.
And also, witnesses reported that they saw James crying and that his head was bleeding, but nobody intervened. Nobody asked what the hell's going on. Like, these are two kids carrying a little kid that's like basically a baby. It's just,
Bleeding.
yeah, it's really fucking surreal to me. Like, I mean, I guess I put myself in that situation and like, I don't really know what I would do. Like, I would think that, like maybe it's like their little brother and they're walking him home because he got hurt or something,
But still, I'd be like, oh my gosh, is he okay?
Yeah, like, are
Like,
you okay?
do
I
you
don't
need
know.
help? I
And
feel like
maybe they did, but I don't
I
know.
feel like if I saw that, I would definitely go up and be like, "Is this child okay?" Like, I would definitely say something for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know. It's really weird because like I don't know. I think about it and I'm like, what would I do if I saw that? Because I would just assume that they were like taking him home or something, but I feel like I would probably ask if they were okay, but
I mean, if they're
if
two
they said
kids,
yes, then I would be like, okay, bye. Like
yeah, yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. Don't know.
yeah, so nobody intervened as far as it's been reported. So once the police got it out that they took James from the mall, the boys both tried to lie and say that they left James at a reservoir where they were spotted. But the police, they already knew that it was a lie, so they tried to talk to them like, "Hey, come on, like tell us the truth. We know you were with him. We know you took him."
Yeah.
So finally, John admitted that they killed James, but he said that it was Robert who did it. So then he was like lying the entire time, but then just started forcing or like pushing the blame onto Robert. So he
Mm-hmm.
he basically, what he says in the interview is that Robert was throwing bricks at him and hitting him in the face,
Oh
and
my god.
that James just kept getting up and that he wouldn't stay down. And when police asked him, "Why did you want him to go down?" he said, "I don't know, wanted him dead probably."
That's so fucked up.
I know. It's so sad because he was just like a little baby and he like didn't even know what was going on, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So John said that it was Robert's idea to eventually kill James, and at first their idea was to throw him in a river. They tried to get him to go down to a river and look into the water, and they kept telling James like, look into the water, you can see our reflection, and that James wouldn't go down by the water. So when he wouldn't go down to the water, that's I guess so what John was saying, that Robert got angry and like shoved him down, but like other articles and documentaries said that he had fallen down. Either way, that's where he got the bump and the blood on his head. So when they
Sweet baby.
yeah, so when they were when this happened, that's when he got hurt, and then they walked even further because people saw him with blood on his head.
Mm-hmm.
So John said that Robert took James by the hand and then they led him to the railroad tracks. Robert, on the other hand, kept denying that he had any involvement, saying that John did all of the killing. But ultimately, it was found that, the cause of death was that he was beaten to death with bricks, rocks, and an iron bar, and that he was also sexually assaulted in some way.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So it
This
doesn't.
child?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
So, it doesn't release how he was sexually assaulted, but there was strong evidence. I think that they like put something in his behind, but there's
Oh
different
my
reports about it, but
god.
like everything that I like the documentary that I watched was like it was not released like what happened, so I don't know for sure. So then the boys then left James on the railroad tracks where he would later be hit by the train and it would cut him in half. But I'm kind of confused about how he got like hit by the train and then like wasn't found, like right away, because I don't really know like how trains work, but like in the movies they're always like honking when there's someone on the tracks. It's like, how did he not see like something laying across the tracks?
Maybe because it was too small? Or maybe he did honk. Wait, but then how would he not report it? Maybe he didn't know if it
Yeah.
was a child. But you know what? It's how but see, the thing that I'm wondering is like if he was cut in half, he was 2 years old and it's a train. I feel like if he was 2 years old, he's very little,
Yeah.
and if he got ran over by a train, his whole body would be crushed. Like
Yeah.
it's crushed underneath the train because I'm assuming the train is a lot bigger than the size of that 2-year-old, you know?
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
how like
I
he
don't
was cut
know.
like it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I don't really
Maybe
know. Like it doesn't
maybe they cut him in half and they said it was a train.
I don't know. Like it so the thing is that,
Is
it
there
was a
pictures?
not of his body.
Oh.
The
Damn
thing about it is that it was like a horrific case, and it was involving all children. So there was very little that was released to the public because of that.
it.
And just like I think like out of respect for the mother and the father, like it was their little 2-year-old baby.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know, like I didn't get into the specifics of how it was like determined that he was cut in half by the train, but I just find that weird because it's like if the conductor sees something on the tracks, like uh, if they hit it, like shouldn't they like report it? I don't know, it just seems so weird to me.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. Haven't you seen Final Destination? Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
I don't think he actually got hit by the train. Oh yeah. Oh no, yeah, he didn't get hit by the train. He almost got hit by the train, and then something else that was underneath the train ended up flying out from
Yeah.
underneath and then fucking cut his head off.
That shit's
Oh my god.
crazy.
I just watched Final Destination like before I moved and I was like, this is why I don't like these movies. They freak me the fuck out. Like it's
Dude, they are
terrifying.
scary.
They're
They
so
really are.
scary. Like I was traumatized by the bathroom scene in the first movie, like with the water on the floor and then like
Yeah.
the rope or the cord around his neck. That traumatized me as a child. I'm not kidding. I was terrified of the
Have
fucking
you seen all of
bathroom.
them?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I just don't remember the other ones.
I don't remember which one it's in, but when the girl gets killed by like that like log that goes through like the windshield from a truck
Oh my god, I get scared of
or a
those all
bar or
the
whatever it
time.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one freaked me out. So I hate driving behind like
Yeah.
trucks with like big things
Yeah.
on them.
Same. I always envision it, and I'm just like, okay, what would I do? Would I duck down? Would I go to the side? Like, I don't know. So I try to avoid that too. God, I hate those fucking movies. The worst.
So, 9 months after the murder, the two boys went to court. And back in 1993 in the UK, the law assumed that children between 9 and 14 didn't always know right from wrong.
Ugh.
And since it was obvious that the boys had killed James, they ended up actually like getting evidence, like there was blood on their shoes and clothes from the day. They ended up getting like actual evidence aside from the convictions.
Good.
But basically, the court, since they already knew that they did it, they just needed to prove that the boys knew that what they did was wrong in order to get the conviction. So the boys were eventually convicted, but since they were only 10 years old, they were too young for prison. So I think it's under 15 at the time, then they were not allowed to go to prison. So basically, they were just sent to a juvenile housing unit called secure accommodation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll get into that a little bit more, but I kind of set my story up a little bit weird. I kind of just like give the story and then give the background, but um here's the background of them. So Robert, he didn't have an easy life. His father had just left the family 6 months prior to the murder, and his mother started drinking heavily after that, so she became an alcoholic. Robert was the fifth of six children, and he was bullied a lot by his siblings.
Me too.
And then and then with John, John's family had just moved to that town that year, and he was like reported to be pretty troubled. Like the teacher said that he would rip stuff off the walls, and then he would crawl under the desk so nobody could get him. He would cut himself with scissors. He would cut holes in his clothes. He would put like glue like paper all over his face.
Wow.
He had reportedly choked another student by putting a ruler across
Jeez.
his throat. Yeah. And
Fuck this
so
kid.
he had an older brother and a younger brother, or excuse me, he had an older brother and a younger sister. And apparently they had like learning disabilities, or they were a little bit slower than he was. And so some people speculate that he acted out as much because he was bullied a lot and he wanted to go to schools like his brother, because he assumed that there wasn't bullying in those type of schools.
There's
um
bullying in all schools, honey.
yeah. And his parents had been separated, but his dad would come back and then he would leave and then he would come back and then he would leave, so they were on and off all year. So he just didn't really have a stable home either. And it's reported that his mother was also an alcoholic. So basically John and Robert were a match made in hell.
A match made in hell.
Yeah, they both had a lot of stuff wrong with them. They both had a hard life, and yeah. So basically, what happened was both of the boys were released when they turned 18, and they were given different names and cover stories in hopes that they would lead normal lives. So, one thing that I forgot to mention was that when they were convicted, the judge decided. So, when they went to court, it was they were known as like A and B. But after they were convicted, the judge ruled that he wanted to release their names, and so he released their names and their photos and like put them in the papers and the press and everything. But the one thing that he ruled on the other hand of that was that the public was never to know about their life after their conviction. So he basically made it illegal for anyone to try to pry and get information about them, or any type of like reform that they would get while they were in this group home. So basically they were only to be known by their names as murderers.
Wow.
So when they were released, when they were 18, they were given different names and cover stories in hopes that they could lead normal lives. The public was outraged by this because they felt that the boys had basically spent 8 years in detention. They were given good meals. They were allowed out for family events and shopping. It's reported that they were able to go on like family vacations and family reunions. That they had.
It's not fair.
Yeah, and they had like activities available to them, like they had like swimming pool and just It was basically like they just got to go to detention for like 8 years, you know. Like they were
Yeah.
people felt like they really weren't punished. After a few years of being released, John was arrested for a few different things. He was arrested for bar fights, he was arrested for cocaine, and he was eventually charged with downloading and distributing child pornography.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so the first time he did it, he didn't get in that much trouble, and then he got caught a second time, and
Ew.
he was sentenced to like 40 months in jail. So he really only spent, you know, a small amount of time for doing child porn, which fucking pisses me off because it's like
Gross.
one of the most disgusting things you could do. But he's had his name changed like 3 times because he keeps fucking tainting his name given, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Robert's identity is still protected, and I read one article that said that if you found out who he was and you search for his address, that's like a chargeable offense. So
What?
yeah, like he's totally protected. Like his identity is totally protected. So
Fuck that. I'll go fucking find him. I'm gonna find you.
yeah.
You hear me? I'm gonna find you.
But as far as we know about Robert, he has not reoffended since his release or been in any trouble. And it's reported that he's in a long-term relationship with a man who knows his true story.
Well, whoop-de-doo, you found love.
Yeah. And like apparently Jamie Bulger's father tried to file a lawsuit to get the anonymity lifted because he was fucking mad that they just like got off. Like everybody knows them as these 10-year-old boys that killed a little baby, but they don't know who they are today. They don't really know anything about them. They don't know where they live.
Mm-hmm.
He hated it, but you know, Jamie's mother and his father eventually ended up divorcing after this, you know, tragedy, it can really tear people apart. I don't know if that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly why, but basically, Jamie's mom, on the other hand, did not want their anonymity lifted because she felt that it would protect them from a vigilante trying to get justice. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, like how she felt about it. You know, just being like, no, like I don't want anyone to know who they are. Like she kind of just,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it. Like she just kind of wanted to move on. I feel like.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But it's really fucking sad. I mean, like it's hard for me because when I was watching it, like there's clips of like the van that they were in like pulling up to the courthouse and there's like people like nearly rioting. Like they're running up to the van and punching it and like it's like
Fuck.
I get the anger, but like people don't really act this way when it's like a grown person that killed. Like people obviously act like they should when a grown person kills a baby, but like it was just weird to see like the violence that was towards the 2
Mm-hmm.
kids. And one thing that I thought was interesting too was that like a lot of the police and a lot of reporters say that they feel like Robert was like the ringleader and talked John into doing it. And I thought that was interesting because it seemed more like John was the one that wanted to do it.
Or they both wanted to do it. And
Yeah.
they, I don't know.
I think that they both did because so before they got Jamie, they tried to take a different kid. Like
What the fuck?
yeah, so the same day, right before they got Jamie, they tried to entice a different child, and that child's mother caught them in time and was like, "What are you doing?" and like took her kid back. But
Wow, that child got so fucking lucky.
yeah, so right before that, it's like they knew, it's like they planned to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But some people believe that it was an accident and like that they
An
took him and then
accident?
yeah, like so some people think, some of the police think that they took him and then were too scared to bring him back. So they just killed him.
Well, no matter fucking what, they killed him.
I know. And they did like something horrible to him. Like they sexually assaulted him in some way. So
That's
it's like,
disgusting.
I know. So like to me it seems like they had, I feel like they did it. They knew what they were doing. They
Yeah.
planned to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what do you think? Do you think that if you do something at that young of an age that you should be like sentenced to like life in prison, or do you think that people can change and grow from that?
Um, I I think that those children, it's hard, but I do think that as children, like, you don't really, your brain isn't fully developed. You should
Yeah.
know what's right from wrong. We all believe that everyone should know what's right from wrong. And they probably did know that that was wrong, but I do think that since they were kids, that their brains have the ability to develop and change. So
Right.
I think that they should have gotten a harsher sentence rather than just not going to any sort of like prison. Like, the juvenile thing was fine, but I think after that they should have gone to prison or like whatever for a x amount of years, definitely not for
Yeah.
life.
Like hold
But
like
I
hold them in that detention center until they were 15 and then send them to prison. Like
exactly,
they
send
got
them to
off like
prison. Yeah, I would probably say to, like, how old were they again when they killed the kid?
they were 10. They were both 10.
Yeah, I would not let them out until they're like 25.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even men, like, they mature slower than women, right? Like,
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's actual like
That's what
fucking
I've heard too.
science, but but which, yeah, I don't know. But I think that they definitely should be in prison for a certain amount of time before they can come out. But I don't think to serve life is necessary for children, even though they did take a life. It's the fact
Right.
that they are children, they do have the ability to grow and develop and change.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that too. I think it's like for me it's also what do you feel about like the fact that they just got to be like totally different people? Like nobody knew who they were when they were released. Like they could literally just be like down the street from you.
Well, that kind of happens with a lot of cases,
Yeah.
and
A lot of the time the children's names aren't even released.
ever, yeah, like, no one will ever fucking know. But I think, I'm sorry, how old were they when they were released again?
18. So they
I
were
think
10 when
it's
they were arrested and 18 when they were released.
I think it's I think them having their identities protected at the age of 18 only is a good idea, because to protect them from other people, even though I still think that they should be locked up. But I think, if since they are still like young, like, they're not minors now, but still they're considered teenagers, that their
Yeah.
identity should be protected at least until they're like 20, and then fucking throw them to the wolves.
I think for me it's like if they were released at 18 and they really had faith that they had changed and that they grew and they learned and that they wanted to give these boys a shot at a real life, like I
Hmm.
think that that makes sense. But the second that he did those horrible things again, like I
Yeah.
feel like he shouldn't have had that leisure of having
Yeah.
being anonymous. Like I don't
Hmm.
feel like that was fair because especially when it's like child pornography, like how do you protect someone? I don't know how the
That's
UK
fucking
works with like
gross.
sex offenders, but I know that in like the States, you get put on like the sex offender registry and people can
Hmm.
see your name there if
Yeah,
you live next to them.
and you're not allowed to like live within X amount of miles from a school, or feet, not miles. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like 100 feet? You can't live 100 feet or something. No, like six
I
hundred
don't
feet. I
know.
don't know. But
Something
yeah,
I've
you
heard that, but I don't know if it's true because there's a lot of sex offenders in my neighborhood and
you
there's a
live close to
school
a
like
school.
right around the corner.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, if you guys, what is that website called? Let me look it up. Sexoffender.com or something.
uh,
But you guys should, oh, I think it's sexoffender.org.
Registry or something like that. You could just Google like sex offenders near me and get a good Yelp review. Well, yeah, so I mean, I don't know how it works in the UK with sex offenders, but all I know is that like if in the States, I'm kind of wondering now like if someone has a protected identity but they are a sex offender, if they would still be listed on the sex offender registry or not, because that would give away I mean, I guess it wouldn't give away their past identity, but it would give their name now, which I guess I don't know. I guess that wouldn't be really breaking being anonymous because you're known as that person now, not the person you were. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, once he did all the child pornography stuff, I feel like, fuck you. You should not be anonymous. You should not get to live like people don't know who you are. You're a horrible person. But when I was watching YouTube videos, I actually saw a trailer for a movie that was created about this case, and it's called Detainment. And I haven't seen it, but I watched the trailer, and they did, like, the boys that they hired to do the acting, they basically said that the interview tapes, like, word for word, and they did really good at acting, like, at least in the trailer. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to watch that movie. I don't know where you can watch it, but Okay, so if you look up meganslaw.ca.gov, then you can find it in your area. So it starts off with like Megan's Law disclaimer, and then you go down and you click I've read the disclaimer, I'm not a robot, then you click continue, and then you can type in your address, or you can say use my device's location. And then it just pulls up a map, because it pulled up a map for me and it was like none available in 2 miles within 2 miles of you, which I'm like, duh, I'm not in California. Be aware of the people around you in case you have children, or, you know, just in case you're anyone, because Jesus Christ, there are so many. So yeah, but yeah, that's the sad murder of James, or Jamie Bulger. It's pretty fucking sad, honestly. Like, he was a cute little baby, and I just can't even imagine like what he was thinking when he left with those boys. Like, he probably just thought that they were like his friends or something.
That's fucked. I don't even want to think about it. It just breaks my heart.
It's tragic. It's definitely too soon. It's always horrible when a child dies.
Mm-hmm. Keep your kids safe. Get them that like gizmo watch thing, whatever it is, and take care of them. And love them till there's no tomorrow, or whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever people say. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the Killer Kids episode. This is definitely my favorite topic to share. I love, you know, these kinds of Killer Kids stories. Kids killing kids really fucking suck. Like, that's really hard.
I love Killer Kids.
Well, okay, my idea for this came from the show, okay? The show that used to be on, what channel was it? Lifetime or something, I don't know.
I think LMN. So. It's on Netflix now.
But it's not the same one. That's different.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's same name, but it's like different. Like, in the original one, she had like a creepy voice, and she would like talk like this, and like, I don't know, it was like really scary.
Oh, that's like that one place, like Scariest Places or Most Haunted or whatever the fuck it was called. Yeah, I hated that lady's voice. It was always creepy.
I loved it. But yeah, so if you guys have any spooky stories or any nightmares that you've had lately that you want to share with us, give us or tell us your story in the email. Oh my god, I can't talk. I'm literally so fucking out of it today. What's going on? But hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and we will be back with a new episode in the next 2 weeks.
We love doing this podcast, and we'll always make time for it. So we appreciate you guys being patient with us.
And we love you, and we will meet you 6 feet under. Good job.
I don't know if I said that right, but